Nobody wants to ask the quarterback what's going on with the offense that had 0 completions in the second half.
That was fed by the PR director.
That's my point, is that nobody asks these questions. So this is why I'm happy about AJ, because AJ's kind of our way to, no, we got to be better.
That won't last. And without further ado, boy, I'll tell you what. You talk about a man that has to go back and forth between John McMullen and Big Sills. I'll tell you what, he is the caretaker of JAKIB. And the two dudes that are here, he is my friend, Big Z, Zander Krause.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
I am doing great, my friend. All right. What does Vic do with Nakobe Dean?
I guess sends him to the bench. It sounds crazy to say that a guy that played as well as he did, but I just don't. You're not taking off a first rounder in Jahad Campbell, who looks really good. I mean, he looks really good. You're not taking him off the field. You're not taking Zach Bond, who you just gave a big contract to, off the field. And you're not running a 43 or 3 linebackers on the field in the modern game in a Vic Fangio defense. So the alternatives would be put either Bond or Jahad at the edge and put Nakobe at linebacker, or Nakobe's on the bench and on special teams. I don't see another. Sometimes that's just the nature of the beast in the NFL. I don't see another.
So maybe injuries will predicate him getting on the field because they may have to use those. Bond, I'd rather put Bond out there. You know why? I put Bond out there because I think he's a veteran, and I think he has a skill set to be able to play outside. I'm not saying Campbell won't, but let me worry about that guy playing off ball first.
Right.
Let me worry about him playing
I don't think it's
ball.
appropriate yet. I don't think it's appropriate yet to bring him, to change where he's playing right now. So unfortunate for Nakobe, but I do think that's what it looks like. Now, I don't say that oh yeah, good seeing it. I like Nakobe. I was happy to see him come, do what he did last year. But the other variable here is that was a bad injury. That's actually an injury that many players don't recover from or ever play the same. It's not like an ACL.
It's career-threatening.
Right. A lot more, like an ACL, as bad as it is a lot more common in today's sport. And there's a lot more advanced science, I guess you could say, that gets those players back. What Nakobe's dealing with is a little bit of a bigger injury. So we're going to see, man. It's unfortunate, but I really I don't think he's going to be out there. I don't think he's going to be out there right away. Now, hey, maybe I'm wrong. We'll see.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions here, and I hope you answer. I hope you answer me better than what I heard today.
Nick is actually impossible to listen to.
He's mastered it.
I can barely take it. I barely can take listening to Nick.
Why can't they get the play in on time?
Yeah, Nick gave you a 14-minute answer about nothing today.
I told you I'd rather have you tell me how to put a 3-legged grill together than tell me.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got to be more efficient. You got to get the play in. You got to make quicker decisions. You got to get it in, and you got to let the other thing is these plays, as you pointed out the other day, we're on the post-game show. They're not like
no.
You don't get up and
it's not John Gruden's offense.
Yeah, they don't. So you got to be efficient with it, and you got to give Jalen a better chance too, because part of what his learning curve that he took on since Kelsey retired is more stuff at the line of scrimmage. If you expect him to be successful or get better at those things, you have to give him some time at the line of scrimmage. I've been on him because the one area where I think that Jalen can be better is the hot route stuff, because that to me is that done at the line of scrimmage by the quarterback. For him to be successful at that, you're going to have to give him some time, so they got to be better at it. Jordan Mailata is evidently on top of it, Big Sills. And if Mailata is on top of it, I'm feeling good.
I like it.
And they do got to get better at it. You're right.
I like him a lot. I really do. I like Jordan Mailata, man.
Me too. He's good.
All right. So let me ask you about the word ego.
Oh, gosh.
Okay. What ended the Dallas Cowboys run? Ego. Have you seen the bitching going back and forth between Bob Kraft and Bill Belichick this year about who gets the credit
Right.
for the Super Bowls in New England?
I know where you're going with this.
Okay.
Ego is the end of all great dynasties.
Let me add to what we're seeing here this week. Do you think the Eagles are winning they're winning at an epic pace? And A.J. Brown is 4-0, and he's fucking complaining about what? Not being more involved in who gets the credit for the wins? Or is it more about his numbers? You got
both.
Okay, so ego, and to some extent here, do you think the organization has an ego when they think that they win Super Bowls and that 52-20 record is
it's
theirs,
naive.
or do you think that's the players? So my question to you would be, how much is ego playing into this tug of war here a little bit with Jalen, with AJ, with the coaching staff? Everyone goes through it. I saw Jordan with Last Dance was predicated on ego because of Jerry Reinsdorf and Jerry Krause. Why wouldn't that happen here in Philly?
Look, you're not wrong about the way ego messes things up. The problem with it is if you expect it to not be there, then you're just expecting the wrong things. Ego is a part of life. Now, I know you have to temper it.
What drives this?
It's not going anywhere. If people think there's going to be zero egos of anybody involved in any football team or any era, as Sileo brings up examples all over the place, it's just not realistic to think. So if it's not AJ today, it's another person tomorrow. I promise you, ego is never going anywhere. Now, how do you manage it? I don't know. I'd like to say this. It's a little far on AJ. Now, I know you got to manage your ego, but this dude's on pace for 640 yards. Be one thing if it was like.
Oh, you're saying it's more than ego here.
Yeah, I mean, one thing if he was getting 1,000 and you're like, all right, man, be with the rest of the group of 1,000-yard receivers. There's a whole litany of them nowadays in the NFL. How many guys get 1,000 yards? I don't know. It's a little much right now for AJ. So it's maybe a combination of ego. But you know what I honestly believe? And this is probably me being, the eternal optimist deep down of trying to look, hope that people have the best intentions. I actually believe that AJ just doesn't think they're going to win like this. Because last year, I wrote an article today on JAKIBSports.com. Go read it, everybody. If you're subscribed on JAKIBSports.com, we appreciate it. I sent the newsletter to your email, so you should be able to read it right in your email. I wrote about why the 2025 Eagles need to be different than the 2024 Eagles. Last year, you had an historic defense and a historic running game. When you have those two things, it allows you the opportunity and the ability to play unlike any football team in the modern era. Because that's what they did last year. They literally defied all of modern football. Now you're coming in this year, and what appears to be the same approach, your offensive line isn't the same. Your running back in Saquon Barkley is not having the same type of games because of that, because of maybe his touches last year, because of the offensive line, because of whatever reason you want. And your defense, while it looks good, is probably not, let's just be real, it's probably not going to reach the historic level of last year's. Now, it might be really good. It might be top 5 by the end of the year or whatever. But it's probably not going to be that good. So if you couple all that together, let's say it takes away 25% of your team, just throwing a random number out there. Where do you make up for that? How do you make up for that as a team to position yourselves to be, close enough to win the game? We almost lost the Rams game in the playoffs. I know almost isn't good enough, but we also had 2 Saquon touchdowns in that game. He also ran for almost 200 yards in that game, if I'm not mistaken, or over 200 yards in that game. How do we overcome that this year? Is the assumption that the running game is just going to get going and we'll be back to what we were last year? That's not really my belief. Now, some people might believe that. I don't believe that. I believe, and it's consistent with what I've said with you all summer, you're going to have to get it from different areas of your team. You're going to have to get it from different areas of your offense. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts. This is why I predicted Jalen Hurts to be at the top of the MVP race. This is why I predicted A.J. Brown to have his best season ever as an Eagle. It doesn't look like that's going to happen through the first 4 weeks. But if they are going to position themselves to win the biggest games of the year, I truly believe, AJ believes, they got to play a different game. They can't just do the same thing they did last year, fit the square peg into the round hole and expect it to work again. That's what I think AJ believes. Now, Maybe it's ego. Maybe it is personal numbers. I don't know. I've never gotten that vibe from AJ. And while you do naturally have that to some extent, I believe he's always done a pretty good job of putting the team first for a player as talented as he is. So maybe AJ believes that. Maybe I'm way off my rocker and he just wants numbers. I don't know.
Well, I've got Hurts in my MVP race. I mean, I've got Allen 1, Lamar. Actually, this is Vegas. And I agreed with it. And
You
I
got
wrote
Hurts
it down.
in your MVP race.
Allen, Lamar, Herbert, Mahomes, Hurts, Love, Mayfield, and Stafford. So far, it's early, but you're not 4-0 without that guy. I don't care what the fucking numbers are. You're not 4-0 without him. You're not 4-0 with AJ. AJ's a non-factor. Barkley's a non-factor right now. You're in the race for a reason. It's got to be the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Do you think T.O. and McNabb had ego problems?
Yeah, they do. I do. I think Donovan's ego was
Still
much bigger
today,
than-
right?
Yeah, for sure. You still see it. But again, you're never gonna get rid of that completely. It's how to manage it.
When does it get to a point where AJ's a cancer to the locker room?
I don't know, man. From what I've been told, a lot of the locker room is with AJ. Now, that's just what I've been told.
That means they're against Hurts?
Both on Birds 365 from John and off the record in conversations with John, where he just, gives me some of the insight that, you
Right.
say.
I'll
A
go
lot
with
of the team is on Team AJ. They back AJ up.
Well, that means they're not on Team Hurts.
I see. That's right.
Wait. Hurts is on Team Organization.
Well, yeah, but Jalen is also.
Oh, no. He's on one or the other, dude. He can't be waffling.
No. He
No
can.
way.
He's the only guy who can, because he's the quarterback of the team.
You're not
Hurts.
sticking up for your players?
Wait. Why does Hurts make the comment after the Rams game in the post-game interview with Pam Oliver? This is who we really are. Why does Hurts, after the Pittsburgh Steelers game, come out wearing a bling chain with a backwards Kango hat and say, "Is this what y'all wanted to see? They'd let me out of my straitjacket today." Why make those comments if you're subscribed to what they want you to do?
Okay. Well,
now you're right. He's a company man, so he does what they want him to do.
Wait a minute. Okay, everything you just said is accurate until you get to the game and you go back and revert back to what you did.
Well,
all the shit that you told me, you just go back.
He's not going to defy his coach's orders.
Okay, well, you're on team coaching staff and organization. And when you do
I think he's got to bridge a gap. I mean, I think you got to understand.
You do have to waffle it.
Right. That's not as simple as me saying to you, "Hey, make your pick, get off the fence, guy." It's not that easy.
It's like how Nick coaches his team.
It's like
you know what? You know why Nick is better than Doug? Because Doug's not going to walk around on his knees. And by the way, I would walk 14 and a half, 50 and 20, 2 Super Bowls. Hey, Sills, I want you to walk around the NovaCare Center on your knees. Okay? You got me. Because the organization's winning. Doug didn't want to do that. I don't think that's just a Philly issue. I think that goes on around the NFL today with a lot of these young guys. So
at some point, you asked though when it will be too big. It's like, at what point do we get past that AJ tweeted? Like, everybody keeps talking about AJ tweeted, and I'm like, okay, I know, guys, he tweeted. What is AJ talking about? And when you look at the numbers, eventually somebody's going to have to answer to, we're the 31st offense in football. Now, I'm not of belief that we got to fire Kevin Patullo right now. I've never said that, and I'm not going there. But I am saying at some point, you're going to have to answer for that. Now, if you win a Super Bowl, sure, you won't have to answer for it. But if you don't win a Super Bowl, just like I tweeted out today, Brian Johnson, who had the 8th ranked offense in football, got blown out. So at some point, somebody's going to have to answer for it. That's why I say, what's actually AJ talking about? Instead of just bitching about what AJ's ego or why he tweeted, what's AJ talking about? I think he's right. We're the 31st offense in football.
I hope that you wrote down my bold prediction about Kevin Patullo.
Let's see. You want me to pull out the Book of Revelation?
Yeah. Tell me if I said something about Kevin Patullo in there. Because I thought I said week 6. They pulled the plug on him.
You know what we got here, Sileo?
Yeah. I thought we did. I thought I said something about him because I didn't think that was going to be as easy as a transition.
Here is Sills' bold predictions. I do not see anything on Patullo, but I tell you what you had.
What?
Man, you had some shitty takes in this thing.
Okay.
You had some good ones, though, too. You had Eagles 11 wins.
Okay.
Commanders will win the NFC East.
Okay.
You had Jalen Hunt will have more sacks than Nolan.
Well, he will because he's not playing.
I know, right. Although Jalen hasn't done much. Saquon under 1,400 yards.
Okay.
That looks good. Jalen under 4K and 30. That looks real good. Moro Jomo to the Pro Bowl. I can't say that looks great yet.
I thought I revised some of those. Like there was another one here that we
did. You revise them?
Yeah, I thought I revised a few of them.
You might have.
I thought right before the season started, we revised.
You definitely revised some before the season.
Yeah, I thought we revised.
I don't have them all written down.
Okay, that's cool.
But no, for the most part, you were.
Because I thought I said something about Keeley too, not winning that job. Anyway, so let me throw this at you here, brother. If the Eagles win and beat the Broncos and they go to 5-0 and AJ Brown has one catch for 9 yards, how do you think that's going to go on Monday?
If AJ Brown has one catch for 9 yards, can't be.
And you're 5-0.
It can't go good, can it? Well, it depends. What's it going to look like? Does Devontae Smith have 150 or does he have 42?
Does it really matter?
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does. Because if they
so you think AJ's speaking for?
I don't think AJ's speaking for just himself.
Oh, you think he's speaking for the passing game?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The 31st ranked passing game in the league.
Let's
just say for a second, and again, I hear you, fans. We don't like to play this game, but let's just say they don't block the kick. Let's just say CD catches the post, and they're 2-2. Every last one of you guys, me included, all right, would be on here absolutely grilling the Eagles offense. Every single one of us would be grilling the Eagles offense. But when you win, nobody wants to acknowledge that there might be some problems. AJ appears to be not afraid to admit that there's some problems. I think he's right.
Should that role be Jalen Hurts and not AJ Brown? On most teams, isn't it the quarterback's responsibility to be the most vocal guy? How come Hurts isn't the most vocal guy? Every other organization, I don't hear wide receivers popping off like that unless the quarterback is the guy with the voice. So the voice of the team is not Jalen Hurts, it's AJ Brown? Since when? That's really rare in the NFL.
Well, I've said this before. I think Jalen really does care about winning and I think this is a great thing. But I think he cares so much about winning. He hears AJ and he's like, "Yo, you're right, man." But at the end of the day, man,
I agree with Hurts,
man. That's all I want to do.
I agree with Hurts.
I think Jalen's smart enough to know that he has to bridge more gaps than just win because he does have receivers. He does have guys that have to get paid. I'm sure he knows all those things.
So Jalen is more of a politician in the room than any other position in the room.
Well, let me ask you this. Nick Sirianni's got to be a politician.
Yes.
Howie has to be a politician to some extent.
Yes.
Kevin Patullo's a politician. They're trying to turn Vic Fangio into a politician. Why do you think they wouldn't want Jalen Hurts to be a politician? Yeah, he's a quarterback.
And that's why Doug's fired.
He's the spokesperson for the franchise in a way. By the way, you see him all over Jordan. That was one of my accurate offseason predictions. The face of Jordan is not Dakota Prescott. It's Jalen Hurts.
I saw that rating for the Cowboy game on Sunday. It was 40 million people watched that game.
Yeah, but that's the NFL. That's not Jordan.
Wait, well, I'll tell you what. I see Sunday games all the time. I ain't see that number. I mean,
40 big. Is that what it was? 40?
Yeah. Hey, wait, let me get it.
The opener versus Eagles Cowboys.
It was number one. That was number one on Thursday night. I think this was number 3 for the year so far. They had big numbers on that thing. By the way, I want to ask you if you agree with. Oh, excuse me. It was 26-9 for Sunday Night Football. It was the 4th biggest number that they've had
Ooh, 26.9. That's a little low.
It's the fourth biggest number they've ever had for a week.
I'm used to NFL numbers. You hear like 40
Yeah, I
million,
know,
like it's
40
nothing.
million.
You know, you hear 40 like it's nothing.
Okay,
man.
so here I'm going here with this. Kellen
Crazy how
Moore.
good the NFL does, man. It's
Oh, my
crazy.
God. Dude, look
So
at
much
Kellen.
so that they don't even care to the point that they hire Bad Bunny for that.
Dude, wait a minute. Here's another one. Zander.
They know that we're all so addicted to football
Yeah, it doesn't
that they
matter.
can toss Bad Bunny on the halftime
Right.
show. And we'll all bitch about it and we'll sit there and watch this dude dance at
Right.
halftime.
And nor do we care who you really put in there. Absolutely right.
I will protest the Bad Bunny halftime show. I will not watch.
Right.
Here comes Fredo. He's not going to be happy with me for chirping Bad Bunny. I know we got some. We got to have some. We got to have some Latin Americans around here. That Latino America. Come on, man. We got to have some people in here that love Bad Bunny.
That's what I like. A guy dressed.
Somebody tweeted or they mentioned me. They sent it to me on Instagram. They're like, Zay, you love Bad Bunny. I'm like, Bad Bunny. He's Dork Bunny to me.
Guy dressed in a dress singing Latin music. Yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, right.
All right, Zander. I threw this out. I said Kellen Moore last year did more to undermine the passing game of the Philadelphia Eagles than any coach that Jalen Hurts has had since he's been in Philadelphia. So much so that they've implemented the same approach that they did a year ago, that Kevin Patullo is not evolving the quarterback. And what's happened is that the running game has exposed the inept passing game of a year ago. And now you're worse.
You said Kellen Moore?
Yeah.
You still bitching about Kellen?
No, because they've carried it over with Patullo.
Well, they have to this point. You know, the thing that pisses me off about it is that you see flashes.
Yeah.
And
because you know why? The kid's good. Wait, because the kid's good.
Right.
But they don't believe that.
Why don't they? You know what pisses me off?
They don't believe he can consistently be good.
You know what
That's
pisses
my
me
take.
off? You know what pisses me off even more, though? They act like 22 didn't exist because they lost on a flag. Like, I'm not going to go backwards here, but at the end of the day, yeah, but it's not about, I'm not even talking about Hurts individually. I'm talking about team success. They act like now the only way to win is this new identity they've established. And that's not the case. Just like you had to change up last year, you might have to change up this year too. And I've seen Jalen get second in the MVP voting with almost 4,000 passing yards and one of the better passing performances we've seen in a Super Bowl in recent history in 57 and lose the game, but you got there. Like, you can do it that way too. You don't have to only be, we only cannot turn the ball over. That is it. That's like come on. That's not the only way for this team to win.
Last year to you and John, I can't remember if it was on the post-game show or if it was just you and me talking last year. I remember asking you or somebody, do you think that Saquon Barkley being on this team is going to evolve the approach and how they approach winning games? I never thought that they would take it to this fucking level. That you would rather run a guy in a hole that doesn't exist than get the ball to A.J. Brown. It's baffling. It's just fucking baffling that they just don't want to get the ball in their hand. Okay, let's do this. They believe that Jalen's limited in getting the opportunity to get him the ball. If it's not that, then what? Is it play calling? Well, then it is play calling. You know why? Because the playbook is limited. Because the quarterback's limited. Kellen Patullo is calling plays that have been put in front of him.
Oh, no, you just combined them. Kellen Patullo.
Yeah, it's Kevin Patullo. That's
Kellen
what it is.
Patullo. Oh,
it's
man.
Kevin Patullo.
I still don't know why they hired a training wheels guy, man. I don't know why they hired
because you just answered it because they were going to implement the same offense of a year ago.
You got to evolve.
They don't want to.
Well, this is why I believe AJ's in a good spot. The media in the room is no longer allowed to push. I don't know if anybody's noticed that in this chat, but if you turn on the media and you listen to the people asking questions, and me and Sills have talked about this at length before, where I'm not going to criticize them because it's how these guys feed their families, but you are not allowed to tote certain lines if you are in the Eagles building.
Listen to those
You're
press
not.
conferences. Listen to those
I
press.
guarantee you, I've gotten calls from the PR guy himself. Okay. They've threatened John McMullen to take away his credential because of we have a show on our network, Dan Sileo's National Football Show, that doesn't tote the line of everything that they want. So you don't have guys in the room that it used to be in the media. Like, dude, think about this. All right. In the media this week,
Careful,
after this game, I don't give a shit. What are they going to do to me? Fuck. After the game this week, there was legitimately a question about Jalen Hurts' outfit.
What?
He had 0 completions in the second half. And the media contingency, whether you like him or not, is not the point. There was a question about his outfit, his cleats and his shoes and these different things. And one guy's like, we shared this bond with our cleats. And I'm like, all right, good, cool question and all. But like, nobody wants to ask the quarterback what's going on with the offense that had 0 completions in the second half.
That was fed by the PR director.
That's my point, is that nobody asked these questions. So this is why I'm happy about AJ, because AJ's kind of our way to, oh, we got to be better.
That won't last.
Yeah, well, they're not shipping AJ Brown out. This city loves AJ Brown. They're not shipping AJ Brown out.
All right. Did you love Doug?
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, we're talking to him next Tuesday, 4:30. So I would appreciate.
I am maybe more excited for that one than anyone you've ever had on.
Yeah, well, we have the man on himself.
My editing crew, if you guys are listening, get ready for that interview next week. We're gonna need 25 clips of that bit, that thing.
I can't wait, man. All right, what do you make of this Bronco team? I want to get. Let me tell you a little bit about him before you comment here.
Oh, wait. Zeal asked a question here. I'm gonna answer it real quick. He says, "Why do you have McMullen when you established his opinions? His opinions can't be trusted."
That's not true.
Exactly, that's not true at all.
That's not true.
At the end of the day, though, there is a line that John will not enter into. There's certain territories where they won't go. And again, Zeal, you might be upset at that, and I understand that as a consumer. I do. But I also understand that John feels, and we've talked about this, me personally, with John, so I've had this conversation with him. John feels as though he can't lose that credit. It's not worth risking your livelihood to it, real Zeal. It's just not. I get it. You want these guys to do it, but
and I don't want them to.
The world we live in now. The Eagles control it.
Yep.
They can kick people out whenever they want.
And
when you have that, just like Zeal, as much as there are certain things like my business is built on YouTube. I tell Sills all the time, I don't give a shit what you say about the Eagles, but don't mess up with the YouTube terms and services, because they'll blow us out of here and we won't have a show anymore.
That's right.
So as much as we might not want to do it, you have to bend the knee in certain areas.
You know what Xander will do, just so we're
I think John, by the way, to be clear on this, I think John is an amazing football man. I love listening to him break down the game. He's very different from his analysis and Sileo and different people, but I love John for has great opinions, in my opinion. And I don't really agree with your assessment that his opinions can't be trusted.
That's right. I don't either. As a matter of fact, I think John's one of the most critical of all the people that are in the building.
And he gets shit for that when he does. And he tells, you know what John tells him? Just like when John tells me sometimes when I'm stupid on the morning show to fuck off, that's what he tells him. Now, there's a certain line you won't cross, but he will tell him that.
Well, so let me give you a little insight on this Broncos team. And then you tell me what you think of this Denver team that you're going to be playing at Lincoln Financial. So here's who they are on defense. The Broncos on defense are 10th total. They're 9th in passing. They're 11th in rushing. They're number 2 in scoring defense. They're number 1 in red zone. They're number 3 in third down on getting off the field. That's who their defense is, going against the offense of the Eagles. That is one of the worst offenses outside of red zone and third down. And scoring, to that matter, too, by the way. So you're going against one of the best scoring offenses versus one of the best scoring defenses. Red zone is the best in the league at not getting people in the end zone. They're 10th overall And they're exceptional against the run. They're a top 10 team against the run,
Right.
but you're not very good. So you're going to have to throw the ball in this game, in my fucking opinion, because Denver's got some people. And who do they have back there? They got Stingley back there.
No, Surtain. Pat Surtain.
Oh, Surtain, my bad. Right, Stingley's in Houston. Now, here's who they are on offense. They're 9th in total offense. They are 16th in passing with Bo Nix, who Vic compared to Baker Mayfield. They're number 5 in running the ball. You're 18th in run defense. They're 16th or 24 games. They're in the middle there. And they're number 8 in red zone. Dude, I think this team's pretty good heading into this game. I mean, I think they're better than Dallas.
All right, so I got some comments. I got some thoughts, and I think all your stats are good. I do think they're a good defense. I do. I'm not going to disrespect them, but I'll say this: I think this is a prime candidate to not trust in Liars Month right now. All right, and I'll tell you why. They got 2 wins right now. They're versus the Tennessee Titans and the Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati Bengals. Terrible. And when you have whatever that guy's name is, who's the quarterback right now in Cincinnati behind that
Jake Browning,
they put up 3 points this week, the Bengals on them on Monday Night Football. So that is going to naturally make your defensive numbers look a little bit better. Now, I'm not saying they're a bad defense. I think Nick Bonito is a crazy good player. Pat Surtain's obviously one of the better players in the league. I think they're a good team, but they lost to the Chargers and they lost to the Colts. And they beat the Titans and they beat the Joe Burrow-less Bengals. Okay. So their wins are a little bit shoddy to me. Now, that doesn't mean they're not a good team. I think Sean Payton's done a good job. I think Bo Nix has done a good job, but I love the matchup of Bo Nix versus Vic Fangio. Come on, man. Give me Vic Fangio in that all day. He's going to torment him.
And it's actually Sean Payton versus Vic Fangio.
Right. But in a way, Fangio can do things though to mess up the quarterback. Still, you're right. It's Peyton, but Fangio can give him some looks to make him not successfully run that offense. Is my point. So I like that matchup there.
Sean's a damn good play caller.
And the other thing is this too: whenever AJ seems to make some noise, my boy AJ Brown comes back and drops a big game. And I'm going to project here on the National Football Show.
So he beats Surtain. All right.
As I did last night on Bird Gang 31's podcast. Shout out to Bird Gang 31 for having me on. A good discussion over there on his channel. All right. I'm going to predict a massive game coming for AJ Brown. All right. And yes, I'm predicting he beats up on Surtain because if you remember, now this is 21, so Surtain might have not been as good at that time. I think that was his rookie year. But Devontae Smith walked into Mile High Stadium in Denver as a rookie and dropped 2 touchdowns on Pat Surtain's head. One of them, a leaping grab over him, Moss style, in the back of the end zone. Remember when he got up and he did the dance? Yep. So I'm feeling pretty good. Look, I love Surtain too. Great Alabama player, Roll Tide, one of the better Bama players in football right now. But I think A.J. Brown goes off this week, man. I don't think this Broncos team has enough to handle this Eagles team. I just don't.
So what you just put out there, do you think Jets, Falcons, and Texans are good teams?
Jets, Falcons, and Texans. No.
Well, those were the records of the teams that the Bucks played on their schedule going into a game with you where they completely shut you down.
Yeah, but don't you give Bucks a little bit more?
Yes,
a little bit more benefit of the doubt, and because I'm more of a believer.
And Mayfield,
right? Mayfield Bowles, they've been good consistently. They won the South last year. I think they get a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt than the Broncos for me. Now the Broncos had a decent year last year, and
did they make the playoffs last year?
Yeah, didn't they sneak in the wild card?
I thought they snuck in, and Cincinnati was the one that was on the out.
Yeah, right.
Because they made it into the playoffs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they got throttled by the Bills. I think
they got.
Let me look it up real quick. I'm pretty sure though. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, they lost 31-7 versus the Bills.
That's right. They stoned them.
Yep, they got absolutely annihilated in that game.
So sometimes my point is sometimes matchups when you go by a record, you have to be careful of something like that. And if I'm not mistaken, let me see here. So Vance Joseph is the let me see here, Broncos DC. I think it's
Let me hit
Vance
up
Joseph.
Mark Holmes. He's in the chat before he roasts me. Let me make sure he's got the link.
Okay.
Yeah,
Vance Joseph is their DC.
Yeah, he's good. He's been around for a while.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So Vance Joseph versus Kellen Patullo. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, not good.
Kellen Patullo.
Kellen Patullo. Kellen won us a Super Bowl, no?
Good, right? He improved that passing game. It was wonderful. I mean,
no, he definitely didn't do that. He didn't do that. But
you think Hurts turns it around? How about this? So that means if you're saying to me that AJ's having a big game, that means you think Hurts is having a big game.
Yeah, I think Hurts is gonna have a big game. I don't believe Hurts is the problem. I'm sorry, but I don't. So many people keep trying to tell me that. Has Hurts been perfect? No. Has any quarterback in football been perfect? No.
You're not
Does Hurts sometimes miss a couple reads? Yes. He's a running quarterback. He's had the ability to make plays with his legs more than most other quarterbacks for the entirety of his life. That creates some habits. He rolls to the right. He makes plays out of the pocket. He runs more than most. But at the end of the day, every time we've needed him to step up in a big game, I have seen him able to do it. So I'm not, I don't believe that it's all on Jalen Hurts. I really don't.
Do you have a problem at all with them not being able to run an NFL offense with your quarterback?
It's not my favorite thing. I won't lie. It's not my favorite
thing. But you compromise it by going, fuck, man, 20-1.
Well, I compromise it by it's the quarterback skill set. And the quarterback has proven to me in the biggest moments that I can trust you. I've watched him in 2 Super Bowls now dominate. Like, I watched Donovan on a Super Bowl. He puked everywhere. I'm just saying, like, Dak Prescott looks awesome in week 4. He looks great in every single week 4 he's ever played in. That's Dak. Can you trust him in the playoffs? I don't know. Jalen Hurts has answered that question overwhelmingly to all of us. So I believe in Jalen Hurts, and again, I'm not going to sit here and be naive, though. I know he's not Joe Burrow. I know that the passing game sometimes has problems because of his style of quarterbacking. But at the end of the day, those are things we live with and we're good with. I've also seen A.J. Brown have 1,500 yards back-to-back years with the same quarterback. Okay. So the thought that he can't do it is just stupid to me.
So how about if I trade A.J. Brown to the Chargers for Derwin James and a number 2 pick?
Nah. Derwin, I need a young stud.
Oh, well.
How old's Derwin?
Derwin James.
He played at FSU like 8 years ago, man. He's got to be almost 30 now. He's 29. Nah.
Harbaugh says he's the best safety.
Give me a guy. This isn't going to work, but give me you want to make a trade with AJ? I need a player. I need a Pat Surtain. Now we're talking, baby.
Would you trade him for Sauce Gardner?
I was going to say Sauce Gardner. But they don't. Do they need a receiver? They got Garrett Wilson. They got
they need a quarterback.
Yeah, right. That's
before they get a wide out in there.
See, Daz brings up a good point. Derwin's the closest to Dawkins I've ever seen, but I don't know. I'm not.
Look, I didn't know he was that old. I didn't know he was.
Personally, for me, it's going to take a lot to move on from A.J. Brown. Look at Boulevards. Trade him for Isaiah Rodgers. No. Oh, man, we let that guy walk for $7 million. He's one of the best corners in football right now. Shit.
Dude, he is the best graded corner in pro football, right?
Yeah, that's impressive, man. Christian Gonzalez from New England. I need Gonzalez and a 1.
Yeah. I think Gonzalez.
I don't know if you're getting 2 number 1s for a $32 million wideout, bro.
No way. And the money. One. And the money.
Right. That's what I said. $32 million wideout.
Yeah. And the money. And the money.
JoJo's right, though. They're not trading A.J. Brown. Not right now. No way.
Bro.
After the year, it could be something that you monitor.
Oh, wait a minute. Is this a weekly thing or is this gonna be a weekly thing? So let me ask you this.
No,
if this guy continues to be an asshole until the trading deadline, He won't be topic of
Only
conversation.
way he continues to be an asshole is if this offense is as inept as it's been. Like, you cannot be the 31st ranked offense. Dear Lord, I know Eagle fans want to tell me we're 21. I know. But, we've had 59 NFL seasons. 57 of them, we didn't win the Super Bowl. And if we get our 58th this year and we don't win it all, I guarantee every one of you is like, yeah, we should have had a better output from that offense. All right? I know it. 31st is unacceptable for this team, for this roster, for everybody involved. They know that. Anybody that says that's not a problem is lying right to your face, because Kevin Petula is probably looking at that number every week like, shit, man, we better win the Super Bowl. I'm fired. I'm headed back to the quality control room in Carolina.
I got one for you. How about sending A.J. Brown to Jacksonville for Travis
No, we're not
Hunter?
trading A.J. Brown. I'm not entertaining this.
Travis Hunter.
Why would they do that? Why would they do that? They just traded an extra first to go get
Because you put A.J. Brown with Trevor Lawrence?
No,
that might look good.
They just traded an extra first to go and draft him, dude. They basically spent 2 ones on that guy. They're going to turn around and move him for A.J. Brown?
I'm looking for you to be good down there, man. That's all I'm looking. I'm getting – you wouldn't like to have Travis Hunter back there playing in your secondary next to Q? Q and Travis Hunter, your corners? Doug, you're going to the Super Bowl every fucking year if you got those two guys playing corner. Travis Hunter and Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper.
Did you listen to Steve Spagnuolo talk about the Eagles offense? You love Steve Spagnuolo. You talked about him until you were blue in the head when we were playing him in the Super Bowl, like he was the second coming.
Wait.
That's how you talked about Steve Spag. Did you hear what he said about the Eagles offense?
4 Super Bowls will do that for you, bro.
I get it. Did you hear what he said about the Eagles offense?
No.
He said, don't worry about Saquon Barkley. A.J. Brown's who you got to worry about in that offense. That's what Steve Spagnuolo said.
Well, too bad the Eagles don't think that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they just like, who cares, everybody? We're squeaking by teams. We don't need
wait a
to
minute.
A.J. Brown.
Spags told you that the guy you got to worry about is AJ. Too bad the Eagles don't worry about it. Let's read these supers, my friend.
All right, dude. All right.
By the way, Battle Royale. Mark's got something to stand on this week, man. Dude,
if I'm Mark, I'm not listening to any Eagle fan telling them you can't get happy at a tie. You just faced off one of the better teams in the NFC that traded for your star player and made it seem like it was an embarrassment. And you go in there and you put a 40 burger on their head. I'm sorry, if that's a W when you're the Cowboys and you're not a team that's expected to go and win the Super Bowl. Exactly. Your back's against the wall. Look, I've always said I'm going to be objective. That was a good game for Dallas. I know you want to win, obviously, but that was a good game for Dallas.
Throw that pass on the run to the right where a guy tiptoed in.
That was nuts, dude.
That was unbelievable of a throw.
Here's the problem, though. Mark, I just gave you something to stand on, but you know what Philly 500 is going to say. Congratulations, Dak played good in September again. You know?
Well, that's where we are.
Yeah. Well, I know, right? So, but no, I thought that was a good game for them. Let's read these supers.
Yeah.
Big Fish, Little Boat. What's up, brother? He says Broncos D is light in the pants up front. 26 for over 102 tutties. Ooh, boy. So you got Saquon breakout game. If I asked you, Sills, Saquon, Devontae, AJ, who's going to break out?
Barkley.
This week? All right, I got AJ. Normally tweet burst equal yards in Philly.
I think Barkley.
Christopher says, odds AJ's on this team after this year, defensive end trade. We'll see. I don't know. Here's Big Fish. I think it's a mixture of both Hurts and play. Hurts won't pull the trigger when he needs to more, and also shitty plays that lead to covered wide receiver routes. Combine the two, and here we are. Yeah, and they're also beating into his head, Big Fish, Little Boat. No interceptions. So when there's a small window, as there are always in the NFL, there's no such thing as a big window in the NFL to throw. He's hesitant with the football because his head coach is telling him over and over again, the only way for us to win, apparently, is to not turn it over. Meanwhile, he threw for almost 4,000 yards and went to a Super Bowl and was second in the MVP voting in 2022. It's bullshit. It ain't the only way to win. Let it fly. Let him out of the straitjacket.
Not doing that.
John blames players, not coaching staff. Why?
Well, there's two ways of looking at it. he's not wrong with player accountability. But coaching in the NFL is more important than in college football. I mean, you only have 53 men. If you have a poor scheme and you can't get out of your own way, just like in the NBA, look at the difference between Phil Jackson coaching Kobe and Shaq versus Del Harris coaching them. They go on and win 3 straight NBA titles. Coaching matters in the professional ranks, dude. If you don't have good coaching in the professional ranks, and no disrespect here, Mark, but if you've got my friend Dave Campo, or you've got Bill Parcells and you got Jimmy, there's a whole different room of difference on how you move the chains, man.
JD3 says, in all fairness, Bad Bunny would also go 6'7" in the Big 12 at Dion.
I bet.
Yo, JD, what's your problem with Dion? I kind of like Dion.
Well, Dion right now is 15-15, dude. I mean,
Dude,
I don't know.
Fucking Colorado.
Okay. It's the Big 12. Nobody plays defense.
Colorado.
All right. So what? He's 500 in a 500 conference. Great.
With a 300 school.
Okay. Wow. So is he a good coach? I can't tell.
You just said it. You need good players. Big Marsh says, to be fair, Hurts was barking at Patullo mid-game. Yeah, he was. Good. Keep barking at him. Here's the issue. Jalen wants to be like Mike, but he doesn't realize that he's really Bill Cartwright. Come on.
Come on, God. He's Bill Cartwright. Bill Cartwright was a stiff on the
I know who Bill Cartwright was. A stiff center. Kyle says, Sills, I could have swore Sirianni was the guy in the crow's nest saying iceberg.
There's a fucking berg. The boat. Turn it. Nope.
Here's Martin. Here's Perez. I bet you Perez is head over heels about the announcement of Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl halftime show. Perez says, Sirianni answers press conferences like a mom explaining the birds and the bees stories. Nothing but bullshit analogies. You're right, Perez.
Oh, my God. Bad Bunny is going to be in Fuego.
Look, Zeal says, someone should remind Zander Colorado beat Notre Dame for a natty. Yeah, what year was that?
That was like the 90s.
Yeah, the 90s.
The 90s.
Thanks, Zeal. You know, I don't know about you, but I don't live third. That's like a cowboy right there. What are you, a cowboy fan for the day, Zeal?
I think Darian Hagan was the quarterback of that team back then.
Here we go. Conservative approach is going to get Barkley hurt. I don't know about that.
Keep running them into holes that don't exist.
The whole team's banged up right now. Maybe that has something to do with the style. Perez says, how is going, Big Sills? I just got out of the you already read that. Yeah, what I witnessed with Aaron Boone shit. Yeah, I don't know what.
Dude, Aaron Boone last night.
Brutal.
Dude, send him home.
I know. He's brutal. Big Marsh says, fuck Mark and his happiness with Dak's tool. Oh, come on, Big Marsh. By the way, last week, Big Marsh, you sent a nasty super chat in the middle of Mark Holmes giving his time to come on this channel and talk to Eagle Nation. Come on, man. Show some respect, Big Marsh.
There you go.
Come on, man.
What I'm saying here.
All right, Sills, I got it wrong.
You got your brother.
You got the two legends
in the morning. Room. What's that?
I said you got the two legends in the green room.
Dude, these guys kick ass, man. By the way, you got it, brother.